Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Angie. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a medical assistant here on YouTube, and in real life, I share content about being a traveling medical assistant, as well as just a normal medical assistant, and sharing the ups and downs of being in the health field. Today's video, we are going to talk about traveling 101. I'm just gonna do a kind of like a part 2 of that. I'm just gonna answer a couple of questions that I get quite frequently as a traveler. So I'm going to link the first Traveling 101 video that I posted right here. This is the video as well. That has a lot of information. I'm just going to touch over some more things that I constantly get asked by you guys. I always leave a lot of useful information in the down bar, so make sure you check that out, you guys. There's a really great Facebook page that I'm going to leave listed down below that has helped me out a lot when it comes to traveling and just like seeing the different opportunities out there throughout medical assistant community. So yeah, let's just hop into this video. Okay, so the kind of traveling that I do, you guys, is not the most common kind of travel. There are different kinds of contracts that you can sign. You can sign a 6-week, 8-week, 12-week contract with a regular travel company. As a medical assistant, most states have local companies that will consider you as a traveler as long as you live like 50 miles away from said location. So if you live in the general vicinity, you'd be considered a traveler. There's things like that. There is crisis traveling, which is what I've done for almost the last year now. And that is, again, mainly working with just purely crisis. I worked during the hurricane, I've worked during COVID. Now I'm working with COVID again, but doing vaccines, so it's completely different. Again, I have been reached out to doing traveling in different ways. When I worked in San Antonio, I was technically considered a traveler or a contractor, temporary, whatever you want to call it. So I mean, there's a plethora of opportunities. Again, I try to leave as many resources for you guys because I know that this is such a lucrative thing and we don't normally see it for medical assistants. Again, I'm going to leave a very helpful medical assistant Facebook group that I belong to down below. Again, my DMs are always open on Instagram if you need help with anything on the lines of like finding a good company. But I'm just going to answer a couple of questions about traveling that I have gotten recently on some of my videos. So I got a comment asking again, what company do I work for? I do not share that just for personal reasons. I'm going to tell you guys a couple of companies that you can work for if you want to do crisis traveling. There is Angel Staffing, Favorite Staffing, Crucial Staffing, Aya Staffing, I think is how you say it, Caliburn Staffing. There's plenty more that I will leave down below, and I will link my other videos where I talk about this. But yeah, as far as my company, just won't say it for safety reasons. Someone said, curious, I have kids, do travel contracts relocate your family too? So most times with travel contracts, it's not really a relocation, it's you signing on and a commitment to go there. Again, it is different in every company. I know as a nurse, it's a lot different as well. Sometimes you may get a sign-on bonus. Sometimes it's just like, you know, we have this approved housing. You get a housing stipend. Some companies may not do housing stipends, and it's up to you to find your own kind of housing. In crisis traveling, no family is allowed. 9 times out of 10, if it's a crisis assignment that you're working on, you're being funded by the state that you're working in, and they don't want to be liable for anybody else. But these other companies that are just regular, you know, any time of the year, seasonal work, companies may provide a housing stipend or anything like that. So you'll just have to do your research with the company. Again, if you're trying to relocate, you know, that's something that you can negotiate during, you know, your job interview. If you're being paid, you know, $16 and you're moving and you're, you know, relocating, that's always something you guys be negotiable. I don't know if that made any. So here's the next question. It says, do you get paid more as a travel medical assistant compared to someone who is an MA but does not travel? This is a comment that I responded, and I'm also going to elaborate a little bit more just to help you guys out. I said, yeah, it depends on the company you work for. When I traveled with when I traveled with the crisis companies, meaning the ones that mainly work with COVID, yes, I normally made anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 a week. So yeah, so on the lines of travel compensation, yes, that is why traveling in any, as a nurse, a CNA, an RN, is a very lucrative business, because a company that is low on staff is going to reach out to an agency and say, hey, we need a nurse, or we need a CNA, or we need a medical assistant that's going to be able to work 4 days a week. We're offering a travel stipend, we're offering a housing stipend, we're offering per diem, whatever it may be, on top of, this amount of pay. So yes, in a normal contract, it is sometimes more money, but you just have to do the math and break it down very well. And I personally was offered a travel assignment in Austin, Texas, that didn't really benefit with the amount of money that they wanted to pay, even though their housing stipend, their travel stipend was really good, but the hourly rate just didn't. I could have made the same where I was. So it just kind of depends, weighing that out. When you work for travel crisis companies, your pay does go up exponentially, because you are someone that is going into a situation where most people don't want to be in. Working with COVID, some people did not. I worked with a lot of people that were staffed hospital people that did not want to be in those COVID units, so they brought us in. So yes, it is a very great way to make good money as a medical assistant, as a CNA, as a nurse. It is hard in a situation where you are working, whether it's 6 days a week, 4 days a week, you're in a new area with new staff, people you may not know. Some people don't like travelers and they might not be nice to you. It's just, there's a combination of things when it comes down to just outweighing the pay, working with certain people as well. You just have to weigh the cons, you guys. But another thing that somebody asked me was, what are some of the requirements of traveling, and what companies? Again, I will list everything down below as far as companies goes, but some of the requirements that I see across the board is experience, you guys. A lot of people that I know subscribe to me and that I am friends with on my medical assistant Facebook page have years of experience. And so the reason why some of these companies, majority of these companies, want you to have years of experience is because you are ready to go. When you're traveling, especially as a traveling medical assistant, you'd be going from doctor's office to doctor's office, or even a mobile site, and drawing blood. If you don't know the correct blood draw and you need to look at a paper on the wall, it's going to be really hard for you. Or if you don't know how to properly lay out an EKG lining, like that's going to be really hard for someone to have to come and help you. So they want you to be as experienced as you can be. I'm not saying you need to be in the field for 15 years, but a 6 months to a year is some great experience to have. I had been out of medical assistant school for maybe 6 months when I started traveling. So that was, again, but my experience was extremely different as a traveler. Requirements would also be like ensuring that you can be away from the home for so long that you can relocate if necessary. Those are so many things that go into play when it comes to traveling. Each company is always different. Some companies want you to be EKG certified, phlebotomist certified, like all of these things to ensure that you know exactly what you're doing with patients. So yeah, you guys, I'm just going to leave all of this stuff down below for you. And yeah.